we doubt these things, ridicule those who take them seriously, or simply lack the faith we think we have. Have you seen how fearful Christians are? That's not a good advertisement for faith, as they have very little of it. No offense intended. It's just, well, if you're fearing things, then obviously your faith is not strong enough to protect you. And for that, you have my sympathies. Was that a proper enough opener? Can we finally cut a little loose and have some fun with it? Yes, of course we can. Unless you have some kind of spiritual upbringing or fascination, then likely you'll only be exposed to these topics through movies, TV, video games, and the like. Thus, most of us, in our fearful ignorance, have parodied and lampooned the supernatural. I was one of you. My dad had a great interest, and I took the piss out of it. Mostly because my mom also had an interest, but their personalities meant they viewed it from two very different perspectives. Before my dad ever tried to introduce me to the positive side of the supernatural, my mother had already shown me Poltergeist, Amityville, and explained she had an encounter with an angry spirit who had held her down in bed multiple times while she lived in a Georgia trailer park during the late 70s. So, when my dad tried to tell me that he could see energy, balls of it, in different colors and sometimes around people, I was like, "Did you start drinking again, Pop?" Being an ex-alcoholic, my dad loved that bit, and the ringing in my ears proved it. The fact is, I had no interest in this crap, because the scary bits were shown to me first, and that made me not just doubt, but refuse to believe in those things out of sheer fear. Let's be honest. When we're so quick to dismiss something, the reason more often than not is fear, plain and simple. But sometimes life bitch slaps you so hard that those fearful things no longer faze you, because spooky, but also wonderful things have started to happen to you when you least fucking expected it. My channel's kind of a yardstick for who I am and the transformation I went through. I started just approaching a lot of this from a philosophical point of view, and I really wanted to use that philosophy to make entertaining but also enlightening videos exploring life and the world we inhabit. Lofty stick-up-my-ass goals, I know. But it was also during the darkest time of my life, and I guess I was trying to help others as well as myself. My father had died, which had one silver lining. On his deathbed, he surprised me with a huge life insurance policy and told me, "Do not waste a second of your life. Live it. Be who you are. You have that freedom now." Pretty sweet parting gift, but the reality is, I would rather have him back to figure out all this freaky shit that started and has taken over my life. Who am I kidding? I willingly gave myself to it. Not like I had much of a life to begin with anyway. Around the time before my dad passed, I was arrested for having a mental breakdown. Before we knew my dad was sick, my mother and I moved out to California, while my dad stayed in Georgia. When we got to California, though, all hell broke loose, and little did I know that it was literally. The apartment we set up fell through. My dad was diagnosed with cancer, and my mom and I ended up living out of our car for quite some time. On Christmas Eve 2017, I totally fucking lost it in a grocery store. Knocked things over, cursed and screamed, and was arrested for it. Maybe justly so. I spent a week in jail. Again, maybe justly so, but unjustly I spent another 2 years fighting the courts who wanted to throw me away for years, all for making a mistake where I hurt no one and caused either a mild or inconvenience, whatever. I was not offered mental health options even though I informed them I was autistic and had had mental health difficulties for my entire life. And I mean, I was homeless, and you know what the police and the justice system of Sacramento's way of helping me was? Painting me out to be a monster who just needed to have my life destroyed. That was certainly fun times. Thank you so much, City of Sacramento. You really know how to take care of people and make them better, more healthy functioning members of society. You really do. I'm not bitter. I'm just bitter that it's still happening to other people. Like, I've gotten over what happened to me, but the fact that this shit just keeps happening to other people, moving on. During this time, I started noticing strange occurrences and phenomena, but it really did not kick off till after my court case ended and I was free. I started hearing things and having these downloads of information. I would feel things that explained or parted some kind of knowledge onto me. Now I know what you're all thinking. He's clearly lost his marbles. And you know what? At one point, I would have totally agreed. And you can see that conflict play out through most of my work on this channel. The issue is, I started researching the stuff that popped into my head. The issue with things being whispered, or having these data drops that sink massive amounts of knowledge in the blink of an eye to your mind's data processing unit, is once that you find out the information is valid in the real world, you have no fucking idea what to do next. And seriously, if nothing ever checked out, if I could not find real studies, facts, CIA documents, the list goes fucking on, I would have gone to a shrink, taken my pills, and shut it the fuck up a long time ago. But the info was always on point, so now here we are. And here we are with me telling you that it's a fact that our world is hiding the reality of the supernatural. And I know this is going to sound a little loopy and out there, but when movies and games and the like have better information that actually makes logical sense once your mind is open and you have begun researching things that you only once thought of as fantasy, you're going to really start questioning what the shit is up with the world. Then you realize, holy parental neglect, Batman! Thousands of kids vanish every day, never to be seen again, and people, y'all have the same reaction to those facts as you do to the paranormal ones. I see and hear nothing, nothing. People say, oh, most kids are taken by parents or family members and are found all the time. Nope, not the case. Thousands simply vanish every month. No news stories, no search parties, and no support groups for the numerous parents of missing kids. We never see these parents posting signs or searching for their children. What the fuck is up with that? I understand you have been told that most are found, but I have spent nights studying the missing kids database, and most are not found. And there are even strange patterns, like, why are so many fucking kids going missing from Oregon? Like, more kids than any other fucking state, period, go missing from Oregon. By the way, just a little fun trivia fact here, not saying that it exactly might mean something, although in my crazy beliefology it does. See, Kindergarten Cop was filmed in Oregon, and the video game Silent Hill used the school from Kindergarten Cop as the model for the school in Silent Hill, a video game about weird disappearances and strange spooky phenomena. Just saying, that's fucking weird and strange and an interesting little trivia fact for the rest of you. For me, it means something. For you, you know, it doesn't have to mean anything, but just take it as a fun, interesting little fact. Now, I know, we all want to dismiss the fact that there are so many missing children, and it's because this is a horrible topic. But if you ever wonder how I went so fucking crazy, those kids are why. I hear them screaming in my head every fucking night. I cannot sleep and have not slept for a long time. I get very little sleep these days. And not only are kids disappearing, but they're also committing suicide in record numbers. And then we also have a lot of other kids who are snapping and shooting up schools in record numbers. Yes, these things have happened before in our past, but never in the skyrocketing number that we have. If you look at the child suicide rate, ever since the year 2001, that fucker has just gone up. Not down, up. What does this mean? Kids are in massive pain, and all adults seem to be caring about is themselves. But don't feel too guilty. I mean, feel bad enough to make a positive change, please, but realize you are not the guilty party. Our leaders are. All politics do is divide. These people who should be showing and teaching us diplomacy, compromise, and taking the responsibility to improve life, society, and move us into the future simply are not taking that responsibility seriously or even taking it as a responsibility at all. All they're doing is acting like Greek gods who have no responsibilities at all. The news, which should hold these people accountable and provide real, honest facts without spin or manipulation, well, we all know that they're just pitting us against each other too. American life has only gotten worse, not better. The majority were not struggling to survive 2 decades ago. Now, practically everyone is struggling to survive. A generation ago, people could splurge, take vacations, make nice purchases, or even save up for a wonderful home. Okay, not everyone, but the reality is, we were made equal through poverty. Instead of lifting us all up, they just beat more of us down, and thus you have American equality, which is resulting in mental illness, rampant crime, and a degrading quality of life for all but the powerful. Now, I'm not a rocket scientist, but it occurs to me that a capitalistic society can never thrive under these conditions. People are too afraid to spend money, and that means the economy takes a hit. So, if you wanted to fix crime, mental health, and the economy all at once, you would simply start taking care of people. So we would not have to fear, will I have a place to live? Will I have food to eat? And that would mean holy fucking utopia, Batman! People will be able to have fun again! And that could actually make this country wonderful again. Well, actually wonderful for all. Period, because it was never wonderful for all. Oh, but it wouldn't be possible to do that. There's not enough money or some bullshit excuses like that. Please. At one point in the last couple of decades, we had more empty homes than homeless people. Greed is poisoning this world. We know it. And yet, we let greedy politicians steal from charities, and that's just the fucking way it is, right? Why do the powerful deserve anything they have? They walked over all of us to get it. And the bullshit fact is, most things are plentiful. Like, the resources are not as scarce as they try to make us believe. And then we have the fact that most people actually do want to work. But then there's this other little thing, they want to feel like their effort is worth it, that there's actually some type of fucking reward that makes them feel like they're special and that what they're doing matters. Hardworking, good people are the backbone of this country and any society. And yet those good people always get fucked without consent or lube. They lie to start wars for profit. Vietnam and Iraq were both cases of genocide for profit, and the troops are actually the innocent ones. Even if they did the dirty work, they were manipulated and lied to. We vilified many peoples, just so the best of us would march off to war thinking they were protecting the innocent. We founded this country on genocide. Throughout all our history, the industrial age and the age of the .com, these were times just like now and throughout all fucking history where the powerful neglected their responsibilities in the name of greed and clear sadistic cruelty. How are the little people? The ones who actually make everything run. The ones who built everything. The ones who took it. The ones who believed, had faith, and were led like lambs to the slaughter. This fucking gullible. If I was one of those ego-driven dickheads running things, I would think all of you we're stupid and lay the blame at your feet. I mean, I can see it. Why can none of you? And yet, that's not what I'm doing. It's not your fault. I want to make that perfectly fucking clear right now. It's their fault, but also, we need no revolution. We just need to stop being their little bitches. Yet, we just laid down for them. Instead of realizing, if we all united peacefully and just said, no, we are all on strike till you make a society where we're treated fairly with love, kindness, and given access to lives worth living, we refuse to follow your bullshit orders, assholes! We don't need to be criminals. We just need to be better people than they've ever been. Stop fighting each other and we can start taking care of each other. We let people take reasonable amounts of food regardless of money. You allow people's power to stay on regardless of payment. And people are allowed to stay in their homes regardless of rent. And any open homes are open to those who need them. One-bedroom homes for the single person, and so on. If we acted like compassionate, reasonable, and responsible people, there is no reason it wouldn't work. They're the ones who make us unreasonable. They're the poor role models who want us all at each other's throats, so they're free to live like gods while we all suffer. Really? Tell me that's not the fact of life right there. What have the powerful ever done for the powerless? Now, back to the topic at hand. There is so much more to this world than we have been led to believe. And those things, those wonderful things, speak to those who are willing to listen. We have established that those in power want us to be powerless. They want us fearful and kept in submission. And that is why they use religion not to inspire faith, but to inspire fear. If we knew something was reaching out to us, protecting us, that there is truly more out there, we would have faith, and faith is strength. It is simply the will to believe that we can make it, that we can improve, that life will be better, not worse. It is simply the courage to know all is never lost. All religions, like all myths and all beliefs, simply point to the same universal truths. And much like Marvel versus DC, it was never about which is right, but which is right for you. Options allow us to be individuals, while still being united through universal commonalities. Now, we all know, and we also know there can be only one, and evidently, it's me! I did not ask to be chosen, as that is not how it works. My pure heart earned this. I see all the people willing to stop caring, willing to do whatever it takes for them to raise to the top. I cannot and will not do that. I understand magic is very real. How else could an entire planet be enslaved by so few evil beings? They want us afraid of ourselves, weak, ready to give up and die the second things get tough. They do not want us to listen to our desires, to give in to the will inside of us all. Oh, that could be dangerous. No, it's not. Evil people need no push or inspiration to give in to their evil desires. It is only the good, the innocent, who are so fearful of doing something wrong that we foolishly believe us to be the sinner, that we could not be trusted with power or freedom. That is simply how evil convinced all of the good people to lay back and take it. I now leave this as proof, my declaration, my fuck you to evil. I know the truth. You will never make me doubt or fear myself again. I accept my role, my power, and the fact that I could rule all, but would much rather care for all. That is why you have me hidden, isolated, and why you refuse to work with me. You know I would stop your evil ways the first fucking day. I gave you a chance. You could have worked with me. We could have fixed things together. You could have become more than you are. I would have forgiven everything, because I know your evil comes from a deep pain. But here's the deal. All of us goody-goodies are in deep pain too. And we do not harm others unless we snap. You do so willingly and with glee. And for that, I say, fuck you. If you wish to keep me in the shadows, then I shall become the shadows. Might as well. After all, the shadow knows. Evil? You have a shadow, and your weeds of crime shall always bear bitter fruit. Evil will burn out and fade away. After all, did you think I would really let you get away with it? Did you really think I would not know? That I would not piece it all together? You're dumber than you look, and that makes me a happy camper.
I know you're out there. I can feel you now. I know that you're afraid. You're afraid of us. You're afraid of change. I don't know the future. I didn't come here to tell you how this is going to end. I came here to tell you how it's going to begin. I'm going to hang up this phone, and then I'm going to show these people what you don't want them to see. I'm going to show them a world without you. A world without rules and controls, without borders or boundaries. A world where anything is possible. Where we go from there is a choice I leave to you.